Imagine you're laying in bed and it's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's dark, it's quiet, and somebody knock on the door. Your imagination is going to go, oh my God, who is that? And what if you were laying on your sofa and it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon and someone knocked on the door and you probably is like, I wonder, who is that? Because in the dark, our imagination is going to take over. I could walk down the street at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I hear footsteps. If I walk down the street later in the evening, like 10 p.m., 11 p.m., and hear footsteps, immediately I am going to become scared because my imaginations will always override our logic. And that's why you can hold a caterpillar but not a worm. A caterpillar has a different effect on your imaginations than a worm. So we know over and over again that in a battle between emotions and logic, emotions always win. Here's the proof. How many of you have a fear of flying or know someone that has a fear of flying? That is an emotional fear. You know why? Because logically, the scariest, most dangerous part of flying is actually the taxi drive from your house to the airport. You have already done the dangerous part when you get on a plane. However, the emotion that this could crash, I can't get off if anything happened. What's the noise? These emotions override the logic. That's it. Flying is actually safer than driving a car. So today we're going to talk to you through this important rule. Emotional defeat logic. Over time, people would not fight over car parking space or football teams winning, or would not be fighting over toilets if logic defeats emotions. But we can use this very important rule to our own advantage. We can start to use our imaginations to win. So if we're going to use it in 4 areas of our life, in our wealth, in our health, in our success, and in our love, how can you use it? For health, well, a couple of years ago when I was in Singapore, I went out for lunch and I ate a shrimp. I was walking back to my hotel and my mouth is starting to swell up like a puff of fish. And then I didn't really understand what was going on. All of a sudden, my voice went to my lip and said, oh my God, I knew I only have a few minutes before I stop breathing because this is an anaphylactic shock. And the only thing I had was my imaginations. I could have used it the other way around. So as I was losing my consciousness, I started talking to my mind. I say, stop making histamine. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Fish is normal. I eat fish before. I eat shrimp before in my entire life. And as I came to the elevator in the hotel, I knew I was going to be okay because everything was okay. That is what I keep talking to myself. So in that moment of fear, I kept thinking, I am not going to die here. There's just no way I'm going to die here. I always have a choice. You have a choice at any time. We always have a choice. Here is the choice to talk to yourself out of it, or you talk yourself into it. What choice would you want? So for example, if you're going to give a speech, which I see so many of my clients, they say, I am so afraid to speak in the public. So you have a choice. You can talk yourself into it and say, I got it. I know this. I'm really good at this. People like me. I am gifted. I am a nice person. Or you can talk yourself out. You can say, I'm terrible at speaking in the public. I know I am going to go blank. I know I'm going to mess it up. Because imagination will always overrule your logic. So how can we use that well? Let's go through these 4 areas of our life and let's start with our health. There's people whenever they're sick, they start to Google the symptoms. So be careful about looking for symptoms in Google. Instead, say to yourself, I got this. Here's how to use your imaginations. My immune system is great. My immune system is phenomenal. My immune system is awesome. I have an incredible, dependable immune system. But this will be gone in a day. I'm a little bit sick. It will be gone in a day. Rather than, oh my God, I'm going to get sick. I can feel it. It's terrible. I got a chronic headache, serious flu. You want to minimize that something. You got a little flu. You got a mild flu. Something, a tiny nickel thing. Nothing at all that I need to worry about. I just ate a meal. I noticed that chicken was a little bit pink. Now, I'm going to get sick. And if you imagine that, you can probably get sick. But hey, people eat raw food too. And human has been eating raw food for a long time. I have a rock hard immune system. Keep talking about how strong you are, how resilient you are. What an amazing immune system you have. Always bring up the good stuff and minimize the negative. You might get a little bit jet lag, but it's nothing. You might miss a night's sleep. Oh, that's nothing. I'll be back the next day. Let's talk about imaginations. People say, I can't imagine having money. Those people who got money are greedy, selfish. Look at the rich people. Look at the fat people. They are filthy rich. What you are saying is, I am imagining money as a bad thing. And so we talk about dirty money. So you got to imagine that money is good. Many people who talk bad thing about money, and they actually use their imaginations to think that money is actually bad. And people who have money are actually bad. Imagine right now, close your eye if you feel safe to do so, and imagine having a lot of money. An abundance of money. How does that feel? Use your imaginations. What do you do with the money? That is good. Who would you help? Who would you put through school? Who would you employ if you have a lot of money? And start imagine who you would help. Forget about you. Forget about yourself. But imagine who would you help if you have a lot of money? Who would you empower? Who would you enrich? The more people you can imagine helping, the more you are beginning to see, oh my God, if I have money, I would do so many good things. So many of us have an imagination that money is bad, or that money is out of our reach, or that people who are not good have no money. So if you can see money as a good thing, as an amazing thing, then you are more likely to find it. Because you're using your imaginations to enrich your life and others. What would you do if you have money? What could you do? Use your imagination. If you can see it, you can achieve it. You have to use that imaginations. What does it look like? Sound like? Feel like? And the more you can use all your senses, feeling it, seeing it, hearing it, smelling it, tasting it, the more you are overruling the logic. The problem for many people is they say, I don't know what it looks like when I have money, and money always slips through my finger. You have to move away from that thinking and use your imaginations to be excited about waking up in a beautiful bed sheets, traveling anywhere you want in the world, wearing beautiful clothing, jewelries, have beautiful food with your loved one, and doing something beautiful, helping others, so that your mind gets away from the bad and moves towards the good and the beautiful thing. Because you do beautiful things, when it comes to your career, you know confidence is a thing that people pick up. If you are going for an interview, an assessment, appraisal, first, spend some time saying, I am amazing, I am gifted, my company likes me, my boss thinks I am great. And because imaginations will defeat logic. Imagine that over and over again, that I am doing really well, saying I know what to say. So I'm so interested in this company. A few years ago, I was interviewing someone. He said, basically I say, what do you know about the company? He went on and said, nothing at all. So I say, we're not giving you the job because you couldn't even be bothered to learn about the company. So having an enthusiasm, passions, these impress employers more often than a nice, good-looking resume. But the biggest thing to spend time on is telling yourself, I got this. I can do it. Because what you believe about yourself start to resonate out to other people. Let's imagine you got a difficult client coming in. You go, oh my God, this is all going to go horribly wrong. They are a nightmare. Or saying, hey, you know what? They're the best one. They teach me the most. This is a difficult client, but I'm going to use this to grow. I'm going to do some research and I am going to learn something from this client as a trainer. I say to all my people, I train the most difficult client and they teach us everything. So be grateful for them. You know, I was talking to a client recently who was saying that everyone is being laid off in her team. I say, but not you. They're never going to get rid of you. You are indispensable to the company. And believe it, say it, stay it, affirm it. Because if you do that, guess what? It will very likely become the truth. So even the moment of extreme stress, don't talk yourself into it and stress out about it. Talk yourself out of it. I saw a client once who said to me, I can't merge into a traffic when I was driving on a highway. People are driving so fast, I'm scared. I can never drive on a highway because I can't merge. So I ends up taking the busy city roads. But I happen to have a factory and a client, got to drive him. And I don't know how to tell him that we have to be on the road for 5 hours to a 3 hours journey if we drove on the highway. So in his imagination, he could not merge with the traffic in the highway. And what was so interesting about that story is I bring him into a guided meditations and I got him merged into a traffic when he was doing his meditation. A few days later, I was driving on a busy highway and I was just about to overtake a truck. I thought about him. And as I thought about him, I lost the ability to merge. And it was actually quite scary. I think, oh my God, I don't know how to overtake now. And it was pouring with rain. My children were asleep in the back of the car. And half overtaking, I had to really talk myself out of it. I would say, come on, see, you know how to drive. Put your foot down on the gas and follow the curve of the road. And just go. And I did it. But it was very nerve-wracking that I thought about his ability to not merge. Because I thought about him. I started to feel like him. Which is why it is so important, again, to keep telling us what we can do. So you have to pick up the confidence, what you can do, not what you can't. You now know. Confidence is very, very sexy. So let's go on a relationship. People who say to me, no, I always get dumb. Someone said to me recently, I'm so grateful. I wasn't ghosted. I'm so really grateful to that person. Someone did not ghost me. So we have to get into the language and say, hey, I am a lovable person. I have something amazing to offer. I am someone fantasy dream come true. You know what? Because you actually are someone fantasy dream come true. And if you know it, if it resonates with you, that will come out from you and people can know it and people will pick it up. So get out from your poor self-image. Some people say to me, I am going to a leadership meeting and I hope I'm good enough for them. No. Not hope that you're good enough for them. You reverse that completely and say, just reframe it. And when you reframe it, you reverse that completely. You are not trying to impress anyone and show them that you might be good enough. And as you go on that, start thinking, you start going to think that I'm really good. I am good enough. I am already good enough. And are they good enough for me? So you need to reframe everything. In love, do not chase after love. Do not try to earn it or work for it or run after it or buy it. The only thing you have to do is have the imaginations that say, I am worthy of love. If you imagine it going wrong, not working, being dumb, being ghost, being cheated, and if you start looking through someone's phone for proof, if you start questioning someone all the time, what you are saying is, I am not good enough. I am not enough for you. Use your imaginations and believe it will work out. Believe it will go well. Believe you're deeply lovable. Use your imaginations to believe it will last forever. When you can imagine yourself as worthy of love, you don't have to find love. It will actually come and find you. But you do have to sit with that, I am worthy, and say it, stay it, affirm it. And when you say it, at first you might not even feel it. You might think that this is silly. That just means you don't yet believe it. But if you keep saying it enough, you will believe it. And it will radiate from you. And people can pick that up from you. And guess what? The world will reflect the same back to you. I'll see you in my next video.